Hi guys, this is Lieutenant Lucky here, and today we're going to do a little review, and then I'm going to introduce the assignment to you all. So, of course, we've been learning elements of story, and just for a quick review, of course, exposition. It introduces the characters and setting. It may also hint at what the conflict or problem will be. Of course, setting is the time and the location, and conflict is the kind of opposition that the character will face. So we have three different main conflicts that we usually encounter in literature. So we have a person against person, which is a character against another character, usually the protagonist, our main character, hero of the story, faces off against the antagonist, which is the villain of the story. That person is created for the opposition and to bring about some kind of change in the main character. We also have person against self. That's when we have like an internal conflict, when there's some kind of moral compass and moral argument that's happening within the main character. Then we have a person against society or nature. So the problem or the character, the problem is much bigger than any one person. So for instance, when we watched our Ruby Bridges movie, Ruby Bridges had to face the entire United States of America and the legal system that was in place that told her she couldn't go to that school, even though she had every right to be at that school. So that would be an example of a character versus society. Now, as we move into the exposition, we have the rise in action that shows how that conflict develops. Then we have our climax, which is the peak and the most important part of the story. Then we have our fall in action. That's when the tension eases and the events unfold as a result of the climax. And then we have the resolution, which is the final point in the plot in which the reader learns how and everything turns out. So for your e-learning assignment, we're actually going to be writing a narrative story. We've already worked on persuasive writing, so now next we're going to work on narrative. You need to make sure that you include all of these basic elements that are posted on the blog and that I'm going to give you a hard copy as well. You need to make sure you have that. So narrative writing tells a story, of course. It's the type of writing that includes all kinds of stories: adventure, fantasy, historical stories, myths, personal experiences, etc. Narrative writing should make up about 35% of students writing in elementary grades, but of course you're coming to 6th grade, and this marks a transition to where we're going to be doing more formal writing, more persuasive essays, and more descriptive essays. But right now, we're practicing because it's still a part of the standards. So a good narrative begins with the lead that introduces the reader to the character, setting, and situation. The story incorporates narrative elements such as dialogues and descriptive language, and its closure satisfies the reader. So basically, we're going to be doing a narrative story over the Sumerian and the Akkad gods. We've been learning about early people and civilizations, and something that marks a civilization is their traditions and their beliefs and their cultures. And part of that culture and belief system comes with polytheism. We learned about that word, and we learned about the worship of many gods. And those gods have some kind of creation story, or they have some kind of tale about the gods' mystery, or about how they explain some kind of natural phenomenon. For instance, why blood is red, or how man came to tame animals, or the first woman and man. So basically, you're going to read the example story that I've given you, and you're going to be able to kind of craft your own story around the gods that we learned about a few days back. And that's all you have to do for your e-learning day.